Take a look at the person next to you. Say, God loves you and I love you too. Feel the love and the unity. Lift your voice and repeat after me. We come together. We come together. We come together. In the name of love, we come together. We come together. We come together. In the name of love. Now look at the person next to you. Say, I recognize the God in you. Feel the love and the unity. Lift your voice and repeat after me. We come together. We come together. We come together. In the name of love, we come together. We come together. We come together. In the name of love, from every walk of life, every creed and color, in kinship we unite, in honor of the God in each other. Oh, take a look at the person next to you. Say, namaste. Feel the love and the unity. Lift your voice and repeat after me. We come together. We come together. We come together. In the name of love, we come together. We come together. We come together. In the name of love, we come together. We come together. We come together. In the name of love.
All right, nicely done. For those of you here in the room and those of you at home, welcome. My name is Reverend Dr. Michael McMorrow. I'm the senior minister here at the Center for Spiritual Living, a place where we welcome all who practice their beliefs in faith and love. I'm joined here today by our animal ministry minister, Reverend Kathy Lyons. And our musical inspiration today is the wonderful Teresa James. And yes, we're blessed to have her as well. And blessed to have all of you here. And I have a feeling we have more folks online because we had a busy day around here yesterday. So we'll hear more about that later. But for now, let's batten down the hatches in the back there and take a deep, conscious breath and release as we come together for our call to service, which we call Lighting the Flames of Faith. And we perform this ceremony to promote the universal consciousness of life, which acknowledges that all peoples, all faiths, all sentient beings come from the one great universal presence, which we call Spirit. The fundamental to this truth is a unifying nature of all religious thought and experience, which we honor here this morning. So as Reverend Kathy lights the first candle, it's for the Tao, honoring the universal path of harmony and equilibrium, the natural way. We light the second candle for shamanic traditions, honoring the beliefs and practices of all indigenous peoples, way of primal spirituality. The third candle we light for Hinduism, honoring the path of knowledge, action, and devotion. We light the fourth candle for Judaism, honoring the ethical path of living by sacred law. The fifth candle we light for all forms of Buddhism, honoring the Four Noble Truths and the path of compassion. The The sixth candle we light for all forms of Christianity, honoring the Christ consciousness as the path of love. The seventh candle, the seventh candle we light for all forms of Islam, honoring the path of submission to the will of God as the highest calling. We light the eighth candle for the universalistic religion of Baha'i, honoring the path of unity and peace. The ninth candle we light for all forms of new thought, honoring the metaphysical path of mental healing through the practice of universal spiritual principles. The 10th candle we light for all those who are as yet unaware of the power and presence of Spirit in their lives, and for the space we hold for them here in our sanctuary, within our online community, and of course, within our own hearts. And now, as Reverend Kathy lights the healing candle, please put silently into the light the names of anyone you wish to have experience the healing flame of God's eternal love.
There is one flame that burns in our hearts. There is one light that shines through our love. We light this flame with faith. We find this light within our own soul. There is one flame, one light within.
So join me, please, as I speak in the I am for everyone here and online. I recognize that there is that one flame which is the flame of God and the flame of love. And I am one with that flame of love. That flame of love just burns within me as I express love and emanate love, and I receive love right now. And knowing right now that God's love is in this very room, expressing through Reverend Mike, through Teresa, Evan, and Mike Carland on the sound. God's expressing through each and every person in this room, online, anywhere in this world. Just knowing and affirming right now that my life is filled with love, and today I just experience God's love right now. And so I am so grateful right now for everyone here and online, and I'm grateful for this wonderful center and Reverend Mike. So with gratitude, I release my word to the law. It is done, it is so, and together we say, and so it is. Good morning and happy Sunday and happy new week. I'd like to share from a song by the Beatles. John Lennon was born 82 years ago today. And in the end, the love you take is equal to the love you make. And I was thinking about this song because it does talk about the law of cause and effect. What we give or make comes back to us equally. And I thought Judy Dunkley, who we had her memorial yesterday, exemplified that. So many people got up and talked about her, how she was such a giving person, and she was obviously well loved by many friends and her brother and many people in her life. She touched many people's lives. And one of the things I admired about Judy is she obviously had some physical limitations, but she didn't let it get her down. I remember she would tell me about taking road trips. She'd get in her van with her scooter and go different trips along the coast. And I procrastinate about, here I am, I'm healthy, but I procrastinate about traveling. There's this saying too in religious science, we don't deny conditions, but we deny the power in them. She didn't let anything that was going on in her life give it any power. And that's what impressed me about her. And she enjoyed her life. Have you ever heard at a memorial service somebody saying, oh yeah, I remember that person. They kept such an immaculate house, or they made so much money for a corporation, they climbed the corporate ladder. I've never heard that. I often hear about what they did for others and how they enjoyed their life. And that's what I'm starting to realize now. The main things in life, I think, is having wonderful, loving relationships. And for friendships, I don't necessarily believe it's important to win a popularity contest, but to have meaningful friendships and enjoy life, whatever you want to do. Travel, or certain things you enjoy doing, or having a career you love, that's great too. And also, in some way, to be in service to others. Judy she exemplified service. And I never heard her complain. And I was surprised she was the age she was. I thought she was younger because she didn't seem to think like an older person. She traveled, did what she wanted to do. And one of the things I've learned too, as I'm getting older, is don't whine. I'm not saying you don't have feelings to express, that you might need to talk to a practitioner, but what I really realize that one of the things that will age people is whining. I don't care how much Botox you get or how many beauty treatments. If you're whining about ain't it awful and my life sucks, that will age you more. So, just in remembrance of Judy, live your life to the fullest, and so it is.
So it is. Nice. I forget all the good there is, and that spirit flows through me. I forget that I need faith in my life, and all the love that's there for me. I can't remember all the times that love has saved me, and I don't always know what's best for me. I forget, but you remind me. When I need affection, you give me love. When I need proof, you give me faith. When I need power, you give me peace. And when I need a little comfort, you give me strength. When I need retribution, you give me grace. When I need something to ease the pain, you heal me. And when I need to be reminded, you remind me. When I doubt my direction and I'm tempted to stray, and I wonder if all my efforts will ever make any difference anyway. When I'm distracted by confusion all around me, and I can't see the love that lights my way. Yeah, when I forget, you remind me. When I need affection, You give me love when I need proof. You give me faith when I need power. You give me peace, and when I need a little comfort, you give me strength. When I need retribution, you give me grace. When I need something to ease my pain, you heal me. And when I need to be reminded, you remind me. You remind me I'm yours. You remind me I'm safe and secure. You remind me what I don't need, and you remind me what I need. Yeah, you remind me what I need. And when I need affection, you give me love. When I need proof, you give me faith. When I need power, you give me peace. And when I need a little comfort, you give me strength. When I need retribution, you give me grace. When I need something to ease the pain, yeah, you heal me. And when I need to be reminded, you remind me. Oh, you remind me.
Thank you so much. We have a few announcements here. Practitioners are available today in the treatment room. Reverend Nikki is here. She's doing High Watch. She'll be glad to do a 1-minute miracle. There's also Reverend Susie, there's Rosalie, there's myself, and Andrea. So if you have anything going on, you don't have to hold on to it. Talk to a practitioner. Believe me, even the 1-minute miracles can be powerful. Also, you can go on, find a practitioner online, go to CSLGH.org. Today at 11:45 is Zoom Fellowship with Agneta Byland. Healing Support Group at 1:00 p.m. with Reverend Jessica. That's also a powerful group if you need prayer support. Law of Attraction Group with Mike Carlin today online at 1:00. Healing Support Group is also on Zoom. Coming soon, Granada Hill Street Fair, October 22nd at 10:00 a.m. I think it's from 10 a.m. to about 4:00. Harvest Festival, I know that there's a committee planning this. It's going to be a fun evening. It's on Friday, November 4th at 6 p.m. There's going to be food, dancing, music, so come and join us. And I'd love to see more people meeting in person. Yesterday, we had almost a full house here. So if you live in the area, come and join us and feel the energy in this room. Membership, would you like to win friends and influence people? Come and become a member and share your wonderfulness with the world. So now we will do our Declaration of Principles. So let's stand. We believe in one universal spirit, manifesting through all, natural and incarnated in us. We believe that the universal spirit is personal to and reveals itself through everyone who recognizes its presence. We believe that our faith operates upon a law of mind which automatically manifests in our experience according to that faith. We believe in the unity of all life and the immortality of the individual soul forever expanding. We believe in the eternal goodness, the eternal loving kindness, and the givingness of life to all.
I am a light, I am a light, I am a light in this world. I am a light, I am a light, I am a light in this world. And I shine, and I shine, and I shine so bright. And I shine, and I shine, and I shine so bright. You are a light, you are a light, you are a light in this world. You are a light, you are a light, you are a light in this world. And you shine, and you shine, and you shine so bright. And you shine, and you shine, and you shine so bright. We are a light, we are a light, we are a light in this world. We are a light, we are a light, we are a light in this world. And we shine, and we shine, and we shine so bright. And we shine, and we shine, and we shine so bright.
All right. Nicely done, you guys. Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Oh, my gosh. That's wild. Oh, you know what? It's football season. That's what it is.
You're just that popular with the label.
Yeah, well, it's nice to have Dancing Jane back, too. Yeah. All right, so today we're continuing to work with our October theme of fulfillment. We've been working, for those of you who may be just joining us either online or here in the sanctuary, we've been working with this book. This is called The Science of Mind 365. It's excerpts from the Science of Mind magazine, a magazine that's been in publication for almost 100 years now. And it's deep thoughts to start your day with. And so for our this month, our practitioners, we all got together and we created themes and talk titles for the year. So we're almost done for this year. So they came up with this theme of fulfillment out of the book and today's talk title, which is God Lives in Me and Enlarges My Life. God lives in me and enlarges my life. And so our contributors are Reverend Elizabeth Schneider, who's chiming in from up north these days, Agneta Bylan, who's chiming in from Flagstaff, Arizona these days, and Reverend Nicole Robbins, who's chiming in from the back seat in the corner down there, holding down the high watch for us today. So, and they asked these three questions for today for us to consider. Well, and let's just back this up. So God lives in me and enlarges my life. So that word God is just a placeholder word, right, for this ineffable experience that we have, sense, cultivate, have a connection with. But God is just a word. right? It's a word referring us past anything that can be conceived of or named. Anything that can be conceived of or named. So even with this image or sense, a vibration, source, whatever that connection is, whatever our understanding of it, it's even bigger than that. And this is a great thing, because as we grow in our own spiritual life and in our own connection with this thing we'll call the divine, that this is an unfolding relationship that continues to be redefined if we choose to. So it doesn't have to be static. It doesn't have to be rote. It can be something that continues to grow. But of course, it's up to us to make that happen. So they ask these three questions. How do I use God, spirit, intelligence within me to enlarge my life, right, beyond our waistline? What do I do when I experience disappointment? So do I lean into my spiritual practice? Do I have a spiritual practice to lean into? Right? So when we have the big disappointments, just having an intellectual understanding is not that helpful. Right? It's a good start. It gets us to the threshold. Now the irony is, of course, is within the, quote, disappointment. Man, that's spiritual gold there, right? Because if we can stay with it in faith, we always emerge on the other side, deeper, more connected, with a deeper sense of wholeness. We're no longer feeling fractured or disjointed, but rather integrated. And we're not running away from whatever that was. We're not running away from it. We're integrating it within our experience, where we currently are. This is a very powerful way to live, yes? Yeah. And then, of course, what is it I tell myself about my life that creates my reality? Now, this is a kind of a trick question, isn't it? Right? Because if we have, let's face it, some folks don't get a good start in life. They just don't. Right? And yet somehow find a way to transcend that and to create a life that at least works for them, if not inspire people around them. 12-step is full of people like that, for instance. And so what are we willing to work on here, right, in this subjective state of mind, the unconscious state, if you will, so that we can experience the sunlight of the Spirit above the line, right? That's the question we're continuing to ask ourselves through as we move into the end of the year. And really, it's a question that, I came out of 12-step, and out of that, before that, Catholicism. So Catholicism, of course, always has this examination of conscience, which is sometimes helpful, sometimes not. Actually, the examination is always good, right? It's what the priest does with the information that can be kind of a pain in the ass sometimes, be honest with you, right? And in 12-step, they have an inventory process, which is then shared with someone, right? Because what happens when we share it? It's no longer a secret, right? And we don't share it with anyone, a trusted person, right? And what happens is we bring it what? We bring it up into the sunlight of the Spirit and feel a sense of healing and wholeness to the extent that we can, right? And then we continue to grow in awareness as our spiritual practice unfolds, and then more stuff comes up for us to look at, and then we get to heal that. So I'm appreciating the theme of fulfillment this month, knowing that it will culminate with our fall festival on November 4th. I hope you can join us. Even if this is your first time here, you're welcome to join us. Because it is an opportunity to reconnect with each other with a commitment to fun, number one, fun, frivolity even, connection and celebrating, also celebrating membership. So we've picked up some new members here in the last, so we never did get to welcome the new members from 3 years ago because COVID, before we could get all that done. So then we had a couple years of COVID. So if you've been here joining us online for a while, come on in to at least come on this Friday evening. We're going to celebrate new members and celebrate our accomplishments, which frankly still being here is a huge accomplishment, right, for any community or business, right, or even you and I. It's an accomplishment that we're still here after these crazy last few years. And then even the years before that. So I hope you'll join us. It's also an opportunity to come together physically and witness each to the other that we are now willing to turn the page on these last few years and shift and lift the tendency of our thought individually and collectively to consciously change the way that we think and the way that we do post-pandemic life. Yes? Yeah. Now here's the thing. I wrote these words on Monday, right? Because I knew I had a busy week. Because we have a spiritual unity movement is now here on Thursdays, and so I got to hustle up and make sure like the trash is taken out and that kind, because they're paying us to use our space, right? So I had to sort things out that way, and then we had Judy Dunkley, who was a prayer practitioner here, and her celebration of life was yesterday, which is where we got these wonderful flowers and the heart shape. Maybe you want to get a picture of yourself in front of the heart out there, right? On your way out, get a selfie. But these are from Judy's celebration of life. And I bring this up because, in a way, I kind of cast a vision for Judy's celebration of life, thinking it was going to be November 4th. That was going to be this joyous expression where we witness each to the other that we're willing to step away from, step into post-pandemic life. Because it really was that. There were 65 people in the room yesterday. And I have to say, I was a little skittish. That's a lot of people in a small room after being, spread out. And it really was a joyous event that I'm happy to report I had little to do with as far as the production of it goes, right? So one of the big things for a minister is to see the community come together to do things together. And this is, so we have had this group called Lay Pastoral Care, because I knew early on in my ministry there was no way that I could get around and see everybody and help tend to the things that are going on with them, particularly in the ways of health. I mean, I can get to the hospital and I can do those kinds of things. But in order to really extend the effort of caring and love and support, it really needs to be a community thing, right? And so yesterday, and we've had 2 years of fallow, right? There hasn't really been things that we could do together we could have, but it wouldn't have been the responsible thing to do in my judgment. But the Lay Pastoral Care Group, under the leadership of Jeannie Starrett, who's one of our longtime members and was very integrated in this and actually handed it off to Judy Dunkley. This is a job she did for 3 or 4 years. And now Beverly Scott. And so it was kind of Jeannie, I don't want to say mentoring because, Beverly's a very capable person, but certainly it was an experienced person showing how a new, enthusiastic, willing volunteer, right? Because here's the thing about volunteer, and we talk about, we could use a volunteer here and here, but really what we should be saying is we have opportunities for you to make new friends, right? Now, yes, there's a commitment. Yes, you're going to have to do something, right? But the connection comes in the doing, yes? And that's true for a church. It's true for the Rotary Club. It's true for the Boy Scouts. It's true for a company, right? And there's something about being of service. And Judy was all about that, being of service. And the most beautiful thing to witness was the people in the lay pastoral care movement, whether they were here physically or just supporting it in consciousness, but particularly those who were here personally, physically, to see that service unfolding. It's a wonderful legacy. It's a wonderful legacy that Judy left us with. Now, and also to witness the harmony of people being able to take direction, right? That's no small thing either. Because one thing that I know about places like this is that everyone is very capable and used to running their own gig, right? But to be able to just be, to be a worker among workers, as they say in 12-step. So this was, I went to 3 memorials in 7 days, right? And I have to say, there's nothing like a joyous celebration of life like we had here yesterday. And Teresa, I want to give her a shout out because she supported Darlene, who sang an old Catholic hymn that I was familiar with. And because I forgot to tell her that it was happening, because I forgot it was happening. And so she totally had to transpose it and get the chord chart and do all that stuff like on the fly with 20 minutes to go. And man, she pulled it off again. Yeah.
Really close.
This is the second time I've done that to her, by the way, but at least it was only one song and not a bunch of Christmas carols. And Milena did a great job with the program. And here's the thing, she took the program, if you get a hold of the program, it's one thing to go to our website and see a bio and prayer treatments, right? So you can get a prayer treatment off our website to help support you in whatever you're going through, but to see it in the program, right? On the website, it can kind of get all lost, right? It's just like this gigantic data download, right? But to see her life so beautifully captured in this program with her spiritual mind treatment, right? And a bio that she herself had submitted for the website. So it had the stuff on it that she wanted us to know about her, right? So perhaps you feel like I'm belaboring the point, but I think not, because our talk title today, I could just go through and produce a litany of observations of me watching you as how God shows up, seeing the face of God in each one of you, being the hands, if you will, of the divine, which is far more effective than me telling you how that works in my life, because it's too easy. When I share about how God lives in me and enlarges my life, it's too easy to dismiss it, because after all, I'm getting paid to do that, right? Right? So that's all good for you, Rev. You're getting paid to live that way. And my answer to that would be, so are you. So are you. We all are. But we often do not see ourselves in that light. We don't see ourselves possibly as a light added unto the world, because we're subject to ways of thinking or feeling separated. Because you may have noticed the world has become a very busy place. And it was busy before social media, right? And when it comes to distractions, social media is like throwing kerosene on a campfire, right? It's exponential, the distraction. And so what happens then is we still may have lingering beliefs that career, money, human experience are separated from spiritual matters, or that we are separate from the world. It's just the way the world works. I have my spiritual life, and then there's the world. Now, I understand this way of thinking because I still fall into it myself. And I should know better. And I do most days. Well, I might dip into it a little bit. But here's the thing. If we can consider the notion that God exists, if we've made that leap, which is a huge leap, by the way, I think people often do not value their faith. It's an easy thing to lose. I've watched people struggle trying to get some little sense of it. Right? It's that flame within us that needs to be cultivated and nurtured and embraced and, yes, loved and acknowledged. I have a consciousness of faith that goes before me. I have a commitment to allowing my awareness of life to build my consciousness so that everyone with whom I meet, every experience which I greet, I am greeting with a consciousness that knows and knows that it is one with the infinite power and presence of the divine expressing as my life now and yours too. So if we're willing to do that, then why not? Why not then allow our life to become the divine playground where we are in this cosmic sandbox, making and reshaping our life the way we want it to be, rather than accepting other people's restrictions, limitations, judgments. So one of the things that Judy's brother shared with us was how critical his mother was, even saying she was so critical that she got in the way of her first marriage. Right? And yet somehow she was able to transcend that. Now, this idea of playing in the cosmic sandbox with the divine would be a lot easier if we could actually sit in the sandbox, physically sit in the sandbox, and know God is there, like Morgan Freeman is there, and we're playing in the sandbox together, and we're shaping things out of the sand, but that's not faith. That's not faith. It doesn't take any faith to believe that someone's sitting there right with you. Oh, and here's the parameters of the sandbox. But really, this is what the world is. A cosmic sandbox where God is both the sand and the hand that shapes it and the thing it creates. And so are we. And when we play with each other in the sandbox, we truly are playing with God. Now, this is a very powerful way to live when we understand this. And how do we do that? We do that. So what we teach here is it begins with thought. Our tool for shaping this world is spiritual mind treatment, recognizing that we are one, that there is one power, one presence, one source, one life, that we are one with it. And even more than that, we are a reflection. We are a reflection of that. And then I have a new truth that I'm wanting to declare for my life, knowing that it is already done. And then we release it to the power, the actual power that makes it happen, by releasing it to the aspect of the mind of the divine that we call law. A law which is just simply a law of cause and effect, where the Spirit always says yes. That there's nothing to earn, but rather to allow. To know that we are resting in a cosmic, truly unconditional expression of love that is so pure that it appears to be impersonal. It appears to be impersonal because it never says no. It just is. Like gravity. Gravity is impersonal. Now, of course, most of us do not see the world this way because the world is entangled in the world of condition, right? Striving for more attention, more resources, more power, right? If we're working out an addiction, more of cigarettes, more sex, more relationship. Now, this is not a new idea or a new thought. This is like right out of Indian philosophy, Vedic philosophy that's like 5,000 years old, maybe older. So in this modern life, really what we are searching for is meaning. We're searching for it through weird avenues of power, of money, of the various ways. This is not to say that we need to have a structure to support our life, because we do. We are not monks, we are householders. So yes, we need to have structure to our life so that we can then serve. Right? That's the caveat. So we've been searching for meaning and not finding it in our companies or even in traditional religion oftentimes, which is kind of sad. So to find solutions for the world today, we need to find solutions that come from within rather than without. Right? We do not need absolutions from sins as offense against God. We do not need absolution as much as we need resolution to reach deeper in those soft places within to the higher places that are within us, and look for ways through our spiritual practice to stay in alignment with that. So I was on a meeting last night, and this gal was talking about how prison simplifies things, right? So to look at her, beautiful woman, obviously accomplished, sharing her story, and then she talks about being the driver, and the guy she was riding with, she killed them. They were drunk. And she did like 7 or 8 years in Florida prison, state prison. And so someone asked her, how do you get a spiritual practice with all that? And she goes, well, when you simplify your life, it actually becomes easier, not harder. So for 7 years, I had to live my life out of a footlocker and had my freedom taken away. The way that she dealt with that is to be of service to others. So then the obvious metaphor that we can ask ourselves then is, how do we stay imprisoned within our own life? Stay imprisoned within our own thinking. Stay imprisoned into thinking that the world is defining us rather than the Spirit. So Holmes once wrote that no person whose entire time is spent in the contemplation of limitation can demonstrate freedom from such limitation. Right? So it really calls for us to be courageous in our exploration, engaging our imagination, even knowing that our imagination and our intuition are an expression of divine mind expressing itself as our mind. right? And to experiment with it, right? To follow it, to take the direction. Share it with a trusted friend, right? But as Jesus said, cast not your pearls before swine. A trusted friend who's going to be supportive. Say, yeah, you go for it. So I'm going to stop there. Let's take a deep breath and release. And just take a moment to recognize, maybe even put your heart over your hand over your heart, and take a breath or two and feel your chest expand with each breath. Knowing that there is that flame of the divine, the flame of love itself is at the very center of your heart and everywhere else too. So we are breathing in the love of the divine, commingling with that light within, that we're releasing anything unlike this perfect vibration of the divine song of life, that we are allowing ourselves to let the Spirit enlarge our life by means of our faith in it. That we are allowing ourselves to grow in confidence and strength of knowing that the infinite power and presence of the divine is within me, is within you, is within all of life. Take a deep breath. Take this sense of knowing into the rest of your day today. Take it into this work week and see how things are different. Then come back next week and share it with someone.
When I'm worried and I can't sleep, I count my blessings instead of sheep, and I fall asleep counting my blessings. Days up and down they come, like rain on a conga drum. Forget most, remember some, but don't turn none away. Everything is not enough, and nothing is too much to bear. Where you've been is good and gone. All you keep is the getting there. To live is to fly low and high. So shake the dust off of your wings and the sleep out of your eyes. We've all got holes to fill. Sometimes it seems the holes are all that's real. Some fall on you like a storm. Sometimes you dig your own. choice is yours to make, and time is yours to take. Some dive into the sea, some toil upon the storm. To live is to fly low and high. So shake the dust off of your wings and the sleep out of your eyes. Shake the dust off of your wings and the sleep out of your eyes.
Good one. Like I said earlier, she says in 3 minutes, but it takes me 25 minutes to spit out. A nice job. Teresa James, everyone. You can support her on all the various music channels, so please do that. And as Chloe brings up our offering basket, just if you've come prepared for an offering this morning physically, then you can certainly bring that up as the basket is open. If you've been joining us online or practicing generosity online or through the mail, just know that we are very grateful, and your gifts also make it into the offering basket. So 2 verses of the song today.
Okay.
Right? Another curveball.
Spirit gives through me, Spirit receives through me, Spirit lives and breathes through me. Spirit lives and breathes through me. As Spirit gives through us, Spirit receives through us, Spirit lives and breathes through us. Oh, Spirit lives and breathes through us.
So let's take a breath. And just knowing with me that this basket represents the heart of the individual, the generous heart of the individual, that which knows and knows that it knows that God is our source, our substance, our supply. It also represents the heart of this spiritual community that receives these gifts with deep love and respect, as we know together they go forth to heal, to prosper, and to bless the vision and mission of this center and anyone connected to it in any way. That we are extending this sense of knowing goodness to our community of Granada Hills, our city of Los Angeles, our state of California, our United States of America, all of its churches, temples, mosques, schools, universities, the people who attend them, the people who support them, for our planet as well, that we know that all of it, in some crazy, cosmic, wonderful way, is an emanation, is a demonstration of the handiwork, the creative impulse of life itself. Knowing this lifts our heart. We feel a sense of power and grace that propels us into ways of spiritual living that raise not only our own life, but the lives of those around us. And that's a good and honorable thing. And together we acknowledge this by saying, and so it is. Amen. So one more thing about, I wanted to share about Judy's memorial. Now, there's about 65 people here. And I was thinking about, the Queen died, had her, I don't know if she died on September 11th, But at any rate, they had that big to-do, people lining up forever and on the, right? And she maybe had 65 people who really knew her and cared about her. Right? So it's a wonderful insight of knowing one of the things that spiritual community affords us is the legacy that we leave behind in the ways that we can serve others. So it really was a beautiful thing to see. All right, so with that, let's get the lady in red up here. All right, it's good having you all here. Good seeing you online. Pray us out, Rev. Thank you, Teresa James, one more time. Let's give her some love. All right, pray us out.
So let's just take a breath. And breathing in all that life and breath of God that's in this room and everywhere present. And so I speak in the I am for each one here and online, that I recognize that God is the only power there is, and that there is this one presence, one power, which is God, and that the presence of God is everywhere because God is all that there is. So I just know right now that in every day, every way during the week and from here on out, that I just live and breathe the life and breath of God and accept all of the wonderful blessings that that divine mind has for me. And so I am so grateful right now for this wonderful service, for Reverend Mike, the music, the sound, and everyone here. I just give thanks right now for this wonderful life as I release my word to the law. It is done, it is so, and together we say, and so it is.
All right, y'all join me. Stand up, let's sing the peace song. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Let there be peace on earth, the peace that was meant to be. With God as our power, united all are we. Let us walk with each other in perfect harmony. Yet peace begin with me. Let this be the moment now. With every step I take, let this be my joyous vow. To take each moment, live each moment in peace eternally. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me.